This video is about my trip to Poland. It was one of those trips we had hardly planned. We bought a return ticket about a week in advance and we only booked a hostel for the first 2 nights. You see, we weren't planning on staying there, but first we went into Warsaw.
We staan bij een fontein en we zijn in het oude centrum.
Our knowledge about Warsaw, or Poland in general, was very limited to say the least, and thus walking through the city was a big surprise. I didn't know roughly 90% of the old town was destroyed during World War II. So basically, the house I live in right now is older than all these buildings standing over here. Someone recommended to us to also visit the Royal Bath Park, one of the largest parks in Warsaw. It's a beautiful park filled with loads of confusing pathways and also a couple of old buildings, which unfortunately didn't house any toilets. Oh yeah, and we made a friend. Our last night in Warsaw for now was spent along the banks of the Vistula. We were not making it very late because our checkout was around 8 in the morning.
Krakow. Ja, we gaan naar Krakow.
Next stop was Krakow. In my eyes, a very elegant looking city with a giant old town square. Funny thing was, when we took the free walking tour as we did in Warsaw, we heard almost the same kind of stories about their history. The only thing was that tales were a bit skewed to anti-Warsaw due to the old rivalry between the cities. As a little excursion, we walked down roughly 400 steps into a salt mine. I've got to say, the guide we had was amazing. He managed to be humorous and sarcastic while also being informative. It was great. The third city we went to was Wroclaw. The first thing we saw were big concrete boxes of flats, remnants of communist times. Not very aesthetically pleasing and kind of a bummer. But when we entered the city center, it was all forgiven. The old town square and the general atmosphere was great. For some reason, we also decided to visit the university building from the inside, something I normally don't do. And yeah, they got a church island filled with 103 gas lamps, which had to be turned on manually every night. Before going back to Warsaw, we also had a very successful trip to a castle in the region. We got out of the train at the wrong station, got lost in translation as nobody could speak English and our Polish was non-existent. And after also taking the wrong bus, we finally ended up there and the castle was great. And now back to Warsaw again. This is me recovering from a pub crawl, and the weather cleared up big time, so the last couple of days of our holiday was spent relaxing a bit in various parks and drinking lemonade. The last things I want to share with you guys is Poland really surprised me, and I can only recommend it.